If you're gonna scratch me, scratch me. If you're gonna hit me, hit me.
What I believe demonic spirits are spirits that are brought from the physical world here on Earth. The people that bring them are the people that open doors, which create these demons or these evil spirits to come and either haunt locations or haunt places.
Where's the hot page? Tell me your name.
Capricorn.
I believe the evil's here.
Really?
What the?
What the hell was that?
So, I mean, that was the scariest thing I've ever encountered in my life. I mean, I'm still really, I don't know if I want to go back in there.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. Selena, Close to Death from Fear Paranormal. I have a pretty cool guest tonight. Everybody's been kind of waiting to see. I know the ladies were wanting to see video, but unfortunately that's not working for him right now. But we got some pretty good pictures that you ladies can drool over. Will Scoville, are you with us?
You betcha. I'm right here.
Awesome, man. Can you tell the audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. My name's Will Scoville. I'm a filmmaker, actor, and other stuff. And we just finished up a film called Voice of the Unknown. And we're getting ready to do another one called Swinging at Shadows. So, yeah, we're going to have a lot to talk about tonight. And I'm not close to death. I don't know what's going on with this, name of your show here, but I'm fully alive. So
Yeah.
you know.
No, it started out to do with near-death experiences, and then it kind of went from, we're kind of close to death dealing with the paranormal, so it kind of has all facets it can cover, so it doesn't mean anybody's dead or anything, not on my show, that is.
I'm just looking over my shoulder here.
You're good. You're good. You don't have nothing to worry about. So I read a little bit of your bio, and it really interested me to see that you were a wrestler before. That's kind of cool.
Yes. If you go onto YouTube, you can type in Ironwill Anderson, which is my ring name, and I had a match against the Tejano Kid. So if you like kind of old school type wrestling, you could watch that, Yeah, it was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. Everybody wants to be a professional wrestler,
Well, I know that I had a huge crush on Kerry Von Erich when I was like 14 and 15 years old. So, yeah, I used to watch a lot of sportatorium wrestling back in the day.
Yeah, that was huge. That was really
Yeah,
huge.
it was. It was really cool. So, what sparked your interest in the paranormal, by the way?
Essentially, I think what it was is my brother, he was a paranormal investigator, and he'd done it for a couple years or so. And, he'd tell me all these stories about some of the evidence they caught and some of the things he's seen. And I got to thinking, I got some friends, we got some cameras. I think we're going to go see if we can put a little something together for ourselves and see if it's really out there. I want to kind of know if it was just something in his head or, you just never know because it's somebody else, I don't know. So we wanted to see if that stuff was real, and it is.
Yeah. Hello, it is. Yeah. And some people do think we are crazy, and we have to be to a certain extent to sit in a really dark, creepy place that no one else wants to go in and talk to in the dark to ourselves, or what we think we're talking to ourselves a lot. So how long did it take you to actually get the Votu into, production? I mean, I know it was a while that you had been filming and getting things together and all that. How long did that take exactly?
We started filming in 2011, and we didn't finish up till 2013. And so, there was a few years there putting it together, and what we wanted to do is essentially just go out on some paranormal investigations and just, catch what we catch, and share it with everybody. And man, we went to some really cool places here in Central Texas, and man, I was pretty amazed at the things that happened while we were in some of these locations.
Yeah, I'm sure. I know that I watched the Voices of the Unknown, and it was well worth the wait, I should say, because I was in one. I'm not going to name it, but I was in one recently, and it was pretty quick done. I mean, we did it in June, and it was out by September. So maybe waiting would have been probably better if we'd gotten a little bit more. I don't know, but I liked what I saw with the voices. I liked the way it was done. And it didn't hurt that, it had Alyssa and you and everybody that I'm kind of familiar with, in it. And so that was kind of cool too. So, speaking of the Magnolia, where it was actually, a lot of it was filmed right in the Magnolia, was that all filmed in the Magnolia, or was most of it filmed there?
We actually hit a bunch of places before that, but what happened was once we got to the Magnolia, basically all hell broke loose, and there was so much evidence and so much was going on, while we were there, that I had to devote quite a bit of the film, to that one location. When you got stuff banging on the wall, you got stuff being moved, you've got voices coming from different rooms that's so loud my camera is picking it up. Not some other device which can detect something that like a pin drop. No, this is just my camera's microphone and it's picking it up. So it was so incredible. Like I said, all hell broke loose. I mean, I had to devote a lot of the movie towards that one location.
Yeah, I mean, my cousins actually live in Seguin, and I've been by that place a few times, and trying to get a hold of somebody when I first located it, it was like really hard to get anybody there. I wanted to go do a walkthrough, but I never could grab anybody that was around while I was down there. Now it seems to be hopping, and I think it's got a lot to do with your help, actually. Did you have any controversy over any of the movie? I mean, like, we had a little bit of controversy over our DVD. Did you run into any type of controversy from anybody complaining about things?
Yeah, and it's kind of from probably the last place you would think that I'd have controversy from. One of the locations, they were upset that I'll just pretty much tell you flat out. There was references to satanic worship being done there in the past and stuff, and I put that in my film initially, and then when they seen it, they were kind of upset, like, hey, we don't want people to think this is a bad place and so on and so forth. But I was like, it's a documentary. I mean, I'm supposed to tell the truth. I'm supposed to document what I find, document what I hear, document what I can pull up, and so. I was kind of, bummed out about it because I felt like it took a lot of the meat and potatoes, out of the film. Took some of the teeth out of it. Yeah. And so I was like, I'm not too good with this censorship stuff. So I put it back in. and what we're doing is I'm sending Amazon.com a DVD. They're going to put it online so people can stream it, and then of course you can order DVDs off there too. And it's the director's cut, which I put that evidence, that knowledge of the place, and some of the other things that happened there. I put it back in.
Yeah.
And I included
history's part of it. You need to know the history of why these things are happening, and whether it's good or bad or indifferent. They need to allow the public to know about it. My opinion is, and if it's part of the history of weird things going on, it explains a lot as well. If there's satanic worship and things going on at places, it's kind of weird that they would want to. It sounds like our government, they want to hush everything. It's like, no, that doesn't happen here. It's all roses and children here.
That's exactly what it was. we we had two people who I guess they have kind of intuitive gift. They came in and they could actually see or sense or something that there was rituals being taken place there. And then later on, I confirmed it with the owner. But then later on, she said, "Oh, I didn't say that." And I was like, "How would I make that up? How would I think to say that?" So
Wow.
it was kind of a struggle, and the whole thing is they said, "Well, we'll help you promote it. We'll help you do this, that, and the other thing if you don't put that in there." And I was like, "Well, I guess." And then I looked at how much they were helping me and what kind of promotion, and I was like, "You're not doing anything."
Yeah.
I do more in one day than you've done the whole time. So I'm like, no way. I'm sick of the censorship. I'm putting it back in. Everybody's gonna see it, and that's too bad.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, or fortunately for them, it could be actually good because people want to go investigate places like that. Like how many people flock to Bobby Mackey's? You know what I mean?
Yes.
And all these places that have reports of scratches and pushing and crap getting thrown at you all the time are demonic, presence or whatever. Everybody always goes straight to a spirit being completely demonic, but when it's actually proven and there's backup to a possibility as to why, then they need to, entertain that as well, and not just, they can't ignore it. The demonic presence won't let them ignore it. So,
Yeah.
They need to just go on and face it. But, seriously, it could be a good thing for them as well, if that's what they were wanting to do with the place. I really don't know.
Yeah, it seemed like that's what they wanted to do, but they pretty much, it seemed like they wanted to control what was there as far as like what it appeared to people, what people thought about, everything. They wanted people to think essentially that there's a spirit of a little girl there. And and the way they presented it was like, we roll this ball and it rolls it back and stuff. And I'm like, that doesn't mean it's a little girl. Just because you roll a ball and it rolls it back, that doesn't really mean that,
Yeah. Well,
like,
even demonic presence, sometimes can show themselves or present themselves as children just to jack with people,
Exactly.
Put on that mask. So you can't ever be really sure if you're actually dealing with a kid,
That's right. Exactly.
See, I just don't understand why they wouldn't, I don't know. I would want everything known about my place, It can't, not everybody's want to flock to see a little girl spirit, some maybe, but I don't know. I kind of like a little scary, a little creepy.
What's kind of weird though is they had posted on Facebook that the daycare across the street from where this location is, that the little kids had called it. The person thinks this ghost, his name is Emma, the little girl.
Okay.
And the people across the street, the daycare, she said that, the little kids over there wave every day to little angel Emma and say hi to her. And I'm like, wait a minute. This is a demonic thing. You're telling these kids that it's not, and they're waving to this? And I was like, that's not good. I'd probably be mad if I was like one of the parents of one of those kids, This woman has my kid waving at some demonic spirit across the street. I don't know. It just doesn't sound right.
No, and if it's the exact same place that I'm thinking, they also are wanting somebody to come turn the lights on every day on their way to school.
Yeah.
And open the place up, and I'm like, oh wow, okay then.
It's
that's kind of crazy. Now, I was seeing a lot of Robbie Prince and the Rip Crew in your documentary too. How do you go about picking, or did you just happen upon Robbie? How did you pick? I know y'all have a radio show, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But how did you pick your actors and your investigators on your documentary? Is what I'm trying to get to.
Sure. Initially, what we did is I just got some people that I knew that had never been on a paranormal investigation that I thought would be interested in it, and then after that, it was a matter of finding some locations, which is it can be tough sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And especially when you first get into it, it's really tough. But I did some posts on Facebook. We got somebody to respond, and they're like, "Hey, we've got this paranormal team that goes out pretty much every weekend. If you want to go with them and film, of course they're going to be in the film, too, and all this other stuff. That would be great. But now you got access to several locations." So I was like, "Okay, that sounds fine. We'll do that." So I had Jay Pennington, a guy named Bobby Too Bad, Brenna Roberts, Phil Huddleston, and we went with these guys, Rip Crew, Robbie Prince and his gang, and we just, kind of piggybacked off them, got to learn the equipment, got to learn techniques, all that sort of stuff. And fortunately, we caught a bunch of evidence while we were with those folks. And then, later on, we were like, well, we've got enough time under our belts now. We know what we're doing. And 3 years is a long time.
Yeah.
And especially when you're going on investigations almost like every other weekend. That's a lot,
Oh yeah.
Sometimes it's every weekend. So
yeah. I know how that goes. I got the fever bad, so I know.
This next film, though, we're getting ready to do, Swinging at Shadows. We're going to film in May. That's a little bit different. This last one, of course, is Voice of the Unknown. We had a group of folks piggybacked off a paranormal investigation team. But this one, what I did is I've got it pretty split up. I've got one investigation team that's going to investigate a certain way, and then I've got another team that's going to investigate a different way. And it's going to sound weird to people. It's going to sound strange, but I will not be doing any investigations during this film myself. I'll be there, but I won't be investigating. I'll be doing more of the narration, telling the history of the place, and plus you'll see me doing some other things, which would be really cool too. So
Awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a bunch of people on board so far, and then there's a lot more that's gonna come on board. I'm going to need interviews for folks like you.
Cool.
So, because we need to ask some questions and stuff of paranormal investigators. There's some things that I've heard while I've been in the paranormal community now that I need to have addressed. Like, I know some folks since they started paranormal investigations, they've had a crazy number of tragedies in their family. It's just like out of the blue, So we want to talk about that kind of stuff. We want to ask those questions.
Yeah, not only that, but I've also been hearing a lot of about paranormal investigators, how it affects their health, and that a lot of them die a lot younger than I guess non-paranormal investigators. I don't know where they get these numbers from.
Yeah.
But I was like, who did that study? Because they didn't ask me. I guess I'm a newbie, so they didn't ask me too much. But yeah, they said that I guess because we deal with so much possible EMF or wormholes or vortexes or something they were talking about. And I'm like, okay, this is a little far-fetched, but I've been seeing a lot of RIPs for people that are not really that old in the paranormal community, like mediums and psychics that really kind of leave us a little early. And it's like,
having strokes and heart attacks and different
exactly.
things.
It raises kind of a question there too. But Swinging at Shadows, I remember when I was listening to your radio show on Blog Talk with you and Alyssa and Robbie, and y'all were talking about, I think y'all actually probably came up with the name right then and there, because you're like, yeah, that sounds pretty good, Swinging at Shadows. But it does sound good, and I saw that you had the photo shoot for Swinging the other day, and Alyssa. And who else do you have on board besides Alyssa? Do you have the same actors, or do you have different people coming on besides Alyssa? Is there a new team, or like you didn't say you weren't going to do a team, but who do you have on board as far as like actors and actresses or investigators?
Yep. So what we got for this one here, we're going to have two teams. One team is going to be comprised of folks that are in the paranormal right now. This is what they do. This is what they've been into for quite a while, which will be Alyssa, Robbie, Chaplain Rob Hall, and then we got psychic medium Wiccan Trenny Simmons. And so, they're going to be on, they'll be like one team, I guess. And they're basically the regular paranormal folks, right?
Right.
Then on the other team, we'll have Deanna Broshin, Charles Riley, Wade Sig. They've never done paranormal investigations before, ever. So, you got one side that's always, that's really into it, and the other people who've never been into it. And it's going to be unique because we're going to investigate 2 different ways when we go with these folks, which is going to be very unique and everything. So it's going to be a little bit different than what people are used to. But
well, it sounds kind of like not a paranormal challenge, but like a experiment that you're trying to do, like old school and possibly new school. And I mean, I'm not saying with equipment, I'm talking about people that have never, and then veterans, and see what they come up with. And that's pretty cool. Alyssa, however, has told me she really doesn't like investigating with a whole bunch of people. So how was that one-on-one investigating? Now, I know you caught some really cool stuff, and we wanted to talk about the shadow man that was behind her that took her shadow completely away.
Yeah.
I mean, how is that? How does that work when you do just 1 or 2 investigators at a time? Is that part of what this is going to be, or are you going to put them all together anyway?
No, we're going to do it pretty much, I believe it'll be like 2 people in there at a time. And we'll have them mic'd up and everything, so we get some good audio and whatnot. That's probably the most, investigators at one time we'll have. And of course, if we've got an investigation, we got like 4 investigators. Of course, 2 will wait outside, 2 will go in, and then we'll just keep rotating, and that sort of thing. But it looks like it's going to be 2 people at a time going in.
And so the locations, are they going to be in like Central Texas still? You still trying to stick around the Central Texas area and stuff like that?
You bet. Screw these other states. I don't care nothing about it.
We got a lot of places here around Texas. I mean, and I keep finding more and more. And I'm just like I was telling you, when we were talking back and forth about that place in Belton with Will Light. Man, that place is no joke. I mean, the old brothel with the cribs and all that, it's got the creep factor from hell.
Exactly.
Best EVP I've ever gotten so far to date from that place. And the whole surrounding of that place is just, I mean, creepy. And, we were on Sherry's show Wednesday and talking about the locations, and Will kind of said that there's a difference in the EVPs that you get at Wiedemeyer, and then you go to Miss Hattie's, and it's a different, culture. There's
Sure.
a different accent to it all. And I got some guy that said, we're here, trying to talk into your device right here. And I mean, it was just as clear as day. And we've gotten some really creepy photos from that place. And, there's just so many places that you have to choose from around there. I just can't imagine where it's going to end up.
Well, we're going to go to both those places that you talked about just now.
Oh,
so
sweet.
Yeah, we're going to do a total of probably 4, at the most 5 locations for this one.
Right.
I wanted to make sure we, were able to devote enough time on each one, to make it kind of worth our while and stuff. That way we can really go into like the history more and some other things. I just didn't want to jump from one to one, next to the next and next, and not give enough, information, enough history, and of course, show enough evidence from each one. So I think if we go like 4, 5 at the most, we should be good. Those 2 there, that's going to be the team of Rob Hall, Robbie, Alyssa, and Trenny Simmons.
Oh, cool.
Yeah,
cool.
So they'll be doing those ones there. So that'll be pretty cool. And that's a good spot too, because Robbie's coming from Arlington, so that'll be easier on him.
It's kind of like a middle, because it's like an hour north of Austin. And then, like probably about 2 hours for Robbie, if that. So it should be pretty cool. I was also going to ask you about the locations around Austin. We've been trying to figure out where exactly in Austin is a really cool place to even have an event. Do you have any suggestions for us that you've been all around there and that you live around the area? Do you know of any really cool places that are so-called haunted that haven't been overly investigated there?
There's one place downtown I know. I can't remember the name of the spot, but it's like a bar, and they've said that they've seen different things in there, like apparitions and stuff. I'll get you the name of that.
Okay.
They said I could investigate it, but the times and stuff and days, I just couldn't pull it off, you know.
Right.
Yeah, so, you know, it's funny, when we get ready to do our investigations for Swinging at Shadows, basically, I'm only going to be at each location from like 5, 6 o'clock in the afternoon till like midnight. So and I can get everything I need to get in that amount of time.
Yeah, that's what. It's so funny you say that by midnight because you know, Chip Coffee and I are pretty good friends, and when we investigate together, he's always like, these spirits better talk to me before midnight because I'm going to fucking bed. I'm not saying, you know, if they can't say what they need to say by midnight, then tough. I'm done.
Yeah, I've been.
I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, 'cause I've been to, you know, a bunch of them where people are staying till 3, 4 in the morning, and that's actually, you know, of course, you know, you could get something between midnight and 3, whatever, but the problem is too, you got to think of the safety aspect. You know, if you're driving a long ways, you know, all this other stuff. I mean, you don't want to get in an accident or something on the way home. You know, that'd be for a bad weekend right there.
Yeah, that would be a suck ass weekend for sure.
Mm-hmm, definitely.
So I saw also the awesome video that you got to be a part of with Mario. Is it Mario of a Melody or Mario? How does he say it?
Memory of a Melody. It's
Memory
Mario
of
Melody.
Okay,
Yep.
okay.
That was a lot of fun.
That was cool.
Yeah, it was neat, right?
Yeah.
They wrote a song for Voice of the Unknown called Phantoms and Shadows, and they were like, "Hey, Will, let's make a music video out of this. This is really good, you know." So I was like, "Sure," you know. And so they had us act in it and everything. And his publicist did a press release, and then it like went all over the world. You know, websites from Hungary, you know, different parts of Russia, Japan were picking up the news story, and it was just all over the place. It was pretty awesome, you know.
Well, it's an awesome song. I mean, they kind of remind me of a little bit of Korn, a little bit of Pantera, kind of mixed up, but with a new sound.
Yeah.
And I like it. And I loved how the video, you know, how all the camera shots were done. I kind of got confused for a second. I mean, I could tell which one was Alyssa and which one was the other chick, but I was like, wait a minute. They're screwing me up here with this. You know, with the two chicks. I mean, and then they had another chick in another dress with an axe, and I was like, okay, wow.
That was Mario's wife. Stephanie.
Okay, yeah. I thought she looked familiar because I've seen a picture of them on Facebook, but I kind of was like, wait a minute, that wasn't Alyssa. That was Alyssa, but that wasn't Alyssa. So I was trying to figure out what was what, but it was really a cool video, though. Are you going to do any more videos with them?
Ooh. Actually, you never know. They're going to be supplying music for Swinging at Shadows, so there's probably a really nice chance of it happening.
That's cool. That's
really cool. It was kind of cool with Voice of the Unknown. What we did is we worked with Bridging the Gap of Rock, which is run by Kendall Harker, and she was able to put together a bunch of bands who gave us music for the film. You know, to kind of get them out there, to feature them a little bit. And a lot of these bands, like Warner Drive, Vaden, who else? The Black Moods, Heaven Below, a bunch of them, they're actually going to be here for Rot Rally. So that's going to be pretty sweet. They'll be right here in Austin. And Heaven Below, who gave us music, they're going to be opening up for Sammy Hagar.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's cool stuff.
Yeah, that is cool stuff. Speaking of cool stuff, I kind of got my, I don't know if I really want to know the answer to this. I'm kind of scared to ask this, but Sherry keeps referring to you as the banger.
Oh my gosh.
Is that a really triple X kind of explanation, or is that something that's okay to to reveal?
It's one of those things that could mean a lot of different things, but what it normally means I would go, I'd lift weights and I hit the bag out here in the garage. I do a lot of different things like that, and so what I'd say is like, I'm gonna go bang the bag. You know, people are like, what did you say? You're gonna do what? The bag? Who's the bag? But then I took a picture and it's like a heavy bag, and then I say, hey, I'm gonna go bang the weights, and I say bang everything, and so she gave me that nickname, I guess.
Yeah, Diva's saying, crawl out of this one, Will.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, there's you could use that term for a lot of different things.
Yeah, I'm sure you can. I can only imagine. I was also going to tell you that I have never had so many freaking messages from female friends of mine who are going, oh my God, who's the guy you're having on Sunday? Is he single? Da 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 da. And then my friend today from high school, Hot Will, and I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, Jesus Louise, women, calm down.
Yeah, I gotta be single. Who's gonna put up with me?
Yeah, is that right?
Pretty much.
So tell us a little bit about your blog talk show.
So every Friday night on DTM Wicked Radio, we do the Paranormal Mayhem Zone, and it is what it says it is. It's a lot of mayhem. For instance, 2 weeks ago, I had an exclusive interview. And Selena, I don't know if you could ever even top this interview. It's one of the giants in the paranormal community. I interviewed the Loch Ness Monster.
Oh my God, I don't think I can top that, dude.
And well, last week I might have outdid myself. I don't know. I had an alien, an extraterrestrial. So
really,
yeah.
You didn't perform. Did he perform an anal probe on you? That's the big question.
Well, the problem is I'm asking all these questions about, what it's like on their planet, all this kind of stuff. And it comes forward at the end, and we find out that it's not an extraterrestrial; it's an illegal alien from Pakistan. So, I don't know.
Oh, I know the night that I listened, someone was kind of razzing on Alyssa a little bit, and what did we call him? Oh, you had a name for him. Oh, shoot. What was that?
Oh, we have so many characters out there.
I know, that guy was like out there saying that she didn't know, she didn't really have feelings, that she could feel spirits or da-da-da-da-da. And he was just going on, and she was like freaking pissed. Yeah. I was like, ooh, Alyssa's not happy. But she handled herself quite classy and quite well, I think.
Yeah. And then we even have street interviews, too. We got a guy named Vince the Madman. He goes to the streets of Austin and ask people, like just homeless people and all kinds of folks, like, have they ever seen a ghost? And he gets some pretty interesting responses. So it's a lot of fun.
That's a good idea. That'd be kind of
a lot of silliness. We put in some, serious stuff periodically, but there's an awful lot of silliness going on.
Wow. So how is Botu doing, by the way, on Indie?
Well, it was doing really good, and I was getting, a lot of looks, a lot of rentals and purchases and stuff. And then, well, I kind of did it's almost like a test market kind of thing. I wanted to see, what posts work, what descriptions work, what will drive people to go watch it, And I think I've kind of figured everything out, and now we're taking it to Amazon.com. So I stopped distribution on IndieRain, and now we're going to Amazon, and that's where it's going to be out there, a lot more. It's going to kind of saturate things, and hopefully when people watch other movies like The Conjuring and other films like that, different Paranormal Activity, whatever, down on the bottom for suggested watches, maybe we'll show up down there. So, but that's the big thing. I'm going to be putting out a new trailer that will have more creepier stuff in there. This is going to be the big push right here once we get it on Amazon.
Cool. Yeah, we were supposed to do the Amazon thing on our deal too, but I don't think that ever did come to fruition. But What are you gonna do?
What was the name of the one you did?
Shadows on 66.
Shadows on 66.
Yeah, see? it was with Brad and Barry Kling and Chip Coffey.
Did they put it together and stuff? And
Yeah. They Brad did all the editing and everything else himself, and we went and shot it in Galena, Kansas, at the old Galena Murder Bordello, which is a freaking awesome, beautiful place.
Yeah.
And we shot it there for a whole week. It was like long days. And we had to kind of get it together, and they released it at Scarefest, which I thought they were going to release it at Phantom Fest, which was actually they sponsored Phantom Fest, or they were headlining Phantom Fest or whatever. And I thought they would release it during their own deal, but they released it at Scarefest instead. And, I don't even know how many copies we sold, but it's like I wanted it to be longer. I wanted it to have more investigative stuff in it and show the house a lot more. But you can only put so much in an hour, you know what I mean? And
right.
When I have no control over it, I had no say. I mean, I wasn't even mentioned in any press release, which is weird. But, whatever. And, it was a good experience. That's and I hope that I have another chance to have another experience like that. I mean, that was really a cool thing to do. Nobody ever makes good money in this field, for sure. So
it's really tough, because a lot of times when they're looking for shows for these different channels like Discovery, Travel, and all this other stuff, Destination America, what they'll do is they'll get you to put together maybe like 4 or 5 episodes of your show, not give you one dime, and then if it goes somewhere, then maybe they'll pick you up for another, season or another run of episodes. But it's really rare, because you see a lot of them. You'll see them on there like 4, 5, 6 times, and then you'll never see the show again.
Exactly. There's one that I kind of like the idea, but it's kind of mean too. Mm-hmm. It's called one called Ghost Bait. I was like, that is crazy. They would go to these houses, like, these people would call for paranormal activity and be like, help, and they would go to their house and they would do the walkthrough with them and ask where all the paranormal hotspots were. And then I'll be damned if they wouldn't put the owner of the house that was most scared crap, he just crapped his britches in the middle of the damn room and put a freaking bag over his head. And set him in there and like use him as ghost bait. I'm like, that is crazy.
That is pretty funny though.
It is funny though, but you could actually do like an SNL spoof on that,
Ghost
bait. But I mean, that was a trip. But there's only like 3 of those, and then there was that one that was called Stranded or whatever, or whatever they left them, and they always would like drive down these really long, scary looking driveways. And go to these houses, and then when you find out the house is like right off a main street in the middle of town, you're going, dude, really?
Yeah, it's crazy too. One of the things that I had an issue with was, I know some of these people that make these shows and all that other stuff, and come to find out, and I didn't know this like when I first started doing it, because I'd watched some of the shows just to see what everybody else was doing. I didn't know that, these weren't real investigations. They're putting some stuff in there in editing, in post-production. They're making up stuff. They're slamming doors and all this kind of stuff. I was like, what? That stinks. So one of the things I wanted to do with Voice of the Unknown, which people should watch it and say to themselves, wait, this is pretty creepy stuff, because everything I did in there was 100% authentic. It's what we got, period.
Right.
I didn't edit anything in. I didn't do anything fancy. What we got is what we got. And all the craziness and when all hell breaks loose, that really happened. We were really inside there when that was going on,
Yeah. And see, that's what I liked about that. And that's another reason why I, when Brad and Barry asked me to do the project with them, the only reason that I really said yes, besides the fact that, oh my God, I thought, wow, I get to work with Chip Coffey and the Kling brothers, but because I'd watched them on Ghost Lab or whatever. But anyway, when they asked me, I was like, you know, I want to do this because these guys are the one pair on TV that I could actually watch and know that their stuff was not being manufactured. At least that I know of, okay? But that's why I decided to do it, because I don't want, and our team, Fear, is really big about all has to be up and up. There's no faking, we don't get into drama, we don't do any of that. We don't manufacture any type of evidence. If we go out and we sit for 6 hours and we don't get crap, we don't get crap. You know, if we get a bunch of stuff, awesome. You know, we're not the team that puts a lot of evidence out there. Now, I'll put little snippets of videos like the periscope going off or something like that because that's cool stuff. And I like to get people revved up about the paranormal because it is a cool field if you can get past all the BS and the egos and the drama and all that crap. I mean, this field is really a lot of fun. I also wanted to ask you too, what was the best location that you actually went to in your journeys as doing all this? Where was the most creepy, besides the Magnolia, where was the most creepy place that you went to film?
This place that I'm thinking of, the funny thing about it is it's not, the appearance of it isn't creepy. It's not like a big hospital or anything like that. It's actually a consignment shop in New Braunfels called the Kicking K. And at the Kicking K, you know, they said that they've seen shadow figures and all this kind of stuff in there. And we were like, okay. So me and Robbie went in with a ghost box, and it, you know, we put that in Voice of the Unknown. There's some of the nastiest stuff ever in that place. It's the most demonic, nasty, evil stuff ever. And if you listen to the ghost box session we had, you'll see it's bad. I mean, it's real bad. And I asked some questions there that not a lot of investigators that I've seen ask. You know, I asked stuff like, are you mad that you don't have a body? You know, are you mad at me, Robbie, or are you mad at God? You know, I asked that kind of stuff.
Oh, wow, okay, yeah.
Yeah, and some of the responses we got were pretty amazing. When I said, are you mad at me, Robbie, or are you mad at God? And of course, Robbie's investigation team is Rip Crew.
Right.
This thing said F with the crew, but it didn't just say F, it said the word, you know?
Oh, yeah.
it was clear as a bell, you know? And some people say, well, Ghostbox says random stuff. That's not random.
Oh.
Who else is who's saying that? You know, on what radio show is it? You know, is it scanning when it scans its AM channels? Is saying that? You know, none that I know of.
or F the crew. Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. Yeah. Listening to you guys on the radio is a trip. I swear to God, I love your show. I wish you would go ahead and just come on over to Penn. And I think we accommodate.
That's what he's trying to do, right? He's trying to get something, you know.
Yeah. That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. So do you have any other thing going besides Swinging at Shadows right now?
I do got a few things going. We're working on a children's book, which is like, what? You're doing what, Will? But yes, my friend Ed Burlett, he put together a children's book. It's a Christmas sort of thing with a totally unique perspective. And hopefully we can say more about that later. But my daughter did all the illustrations for the book. She's a real talented anime, person.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that's cool. And then next we got a deal. Well, I work pretty close with Bridging the Capitol Rock because the music and all that kind of stuff. And they were approached by a filmmaker who already has a film that's just getting completed now. They sent us the trailer, and they're looking at maybe getting a distribution deal through someone. So I'm supposed to help with that. So basically, I'm going 110 miles an hour, 24/7.
That's good, man. That's good stuff. I mean, at least you're not sitting on your, your ass, not doing a thing. I mean, you're busy. You're working out. You're doing your promoting Votu. You're doing Swinging at Shadows. I mean, I've been watching on Facebook. You've been really busy getting swinging going. So I can't really wait. I can't wait. Oh, and by the way, Kim and then said Little Banger Books, question mark.
Oh, nice, nice.
Oh, that's funny. That's great stuff. So where can everybody get the Votu? Is it on Amazon now, or is it going to be a little bit before it's available, or what?
Once they get it, I think they said it could be like up to a couple weeks, before it actually shows up, just,
Okay.
for everybody to check out. So hopefully, like in about 2 weeks. Now, if somebody wants a DVD or something, and I got some extra ones around, or I tell you what, if anybody's near Austin, next, is it 14th? Is that what? That's a Friday, right?
Friday.
Yeah. Friday at Darwin's Pub, the Black Moods, who were featured in Voice of the Unknown, their music, there's going to be a bunch of DVDs down there if they want to go get one. So,
That's
at Darwin's Pub.
So you going to be there for that?
If I get enough people asking me if I'm going to go down, I might. If not, they'll be there with the folks that are selling the merch and stuff like that for the Black Moods. Which the Black Moods are going to be one of the best bands you'll hear down there, period, during South by Southwest. They're awesome.
So you're going to start filming in May, is that correct?
Yes. May 2nd will be the first day of shooting.
Wow. So you've already got that nailed down then, huh?
You betcha.
So you've got all your locations that you need?
I've got the 4. Now,
Okay.
there might be one more that I need to get,
Okay.
but with the 4, I mean, that's pretty good. We're going to
Yeah.
hit those 2 places in Belton. We're going to do the Black Swan in San Antonio.
Awesome.
And then I've got a special secret location, which is not just one building, it's a whole small town. So it's going to be unique.
Oh.
Yeah, this town is small. When you see it in the film, you'll be, what? But yeah, there's only probably 6 or 7 buildings in this whole town, and we've got access to 5 of them.
I think I might possibly know where that's at.
It's going to be cool. So, yeah, and the way we're going to film and everything, it's going to be pretty unique. So, I mean, when we go out to those ones in Belton, you'll come down, check it out and stuff. And, of course, we got to get you on camera and everything, too. We'll have some good stuff for you. And you'll see some of the stuff that we're shooting, how we're shooting. You'll probably be like, oh, that's cool. So
Yeah, and I like that, you have a closed set. That's good. That's always cool.
Yeah.
Nothing
It's-
leaks out,
yeah,
Everybody's
exactly.
gonna sign their life away if they talk.
That's right. Well, the reason why we did that is because some of the investigation techniques that we'll be utilizing is going to be a little bit different. Actually, it's going to be really unique. Nobody's really doing it. So it's not like we're going to investigate standing on her head or doing something weird like that. But no, it's just going to be some really unique things. And the dialogue and stuff between us and whatever's in there is going to be, what in the world are these guys saying?
A lot different than your normal. I need a name. How old are you? What
Yeah.
remember?
Oh, yeah. It's going to be a lot.
I'm sitting there. We did an investigation last night, actually, in Cleburne at a consignment store. It's actually like a half price store or whatever. And we got a little bit of activity, but I'm thinking, I'm really bored with all these questions that I keep asking. I need to figure something else out to ask them because, hell, if I'm bored with them, you know what I mean? They've got to be bored with them. Everybody in their dog asking them the same questions. That's probably why some of them don't get anything. It's like, man,
how many times are you going to ask me my name?
You living people are really stupid, man. Come on. Go think outside the box.
Right.
What are you
for this next film, we're definitely doing that for sure. With the way we shoot it, the way we investigate, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah. Hopefully it won't take 2 years, but like I said, it was pretty well worth the wait. I wish we'd maybe taken a little bit more time on ours and,
I'm
maybe
thinking
we'd got something different.
maybe 4 months, 5 months tops.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, we'll bang it out pretty quick. We're going to probably film. Yeah, there it is, banging. I'm going to bang this film out. See, I can apply it to almost anything.
Yes, you can.
So
I'm not asking about sex and food. Thank you very much.
Exactly.
They're going crazy in the chat room. I don't even know how they got on this kick they're on, but they're bang those blocks and bang it good and damn banger. They're just going crazy about the banging thing. So
Yeah, 'cause we're going to bang out some investigations. We're going to bang out some interviews. We're going to bang out a lot of different things. So it's going to be awesome. And we're going to bang it out every 2 weeks. So,
and I'm sure all my little girlfriends that have been watching how Hot Will, they would probably like for you to use that on them as well.
well, maybe we'll have some things that we'll go to and they can come and see us or something.
Okay, that sounds cool. Well, how do they find anything about Swinging at Shadows and Voices of the Unknown? Can you tell the audience how to do that?
Sure. The best place, we do have a website, voicesoftheunknown.com, but I'd rather people go to our Facebook pages. That's usually the best way to go. We've got Swinging at Shadows Facebook page. We got Voice of the Unknown, and then I've got my own, Will Scoville. And I definitely encourage people to hit us up on all of them. Friend me on there. That's pretty cool. And I'm pretty, accessible. So people have questions. They want to know more about things. I'm not like one of those guys that you hear me talking here, but then I'll never ever respond to anything that you send to me. I'm not like that. So
no, I found that out. You're very quick to respond and pretty cool dude, as a matter of fact. So I appreciate you being my guest tonight. It was really cool talking with you.
Well, I appreciate you having me on. This was awesome.
Hey, no problem. We'll do it again so we can get an update on what's going on with swinging. How's that sound?
Exactly. Heck yeah, because we're going to put your in there too, so it's going to be great.
Sweet. I can't wait for that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
All right, man. Well, you have a good evening, and I'll see you soon.
Right on. Thank you.
All right. Thanks.
All right. Have a good one.
All right.
Bye.
All right, you guys. That was Will Scoville. I can't wait to have a little speaking part in that. That's going to be really cool, Swinging at Shadows, and I'm glad that he's featuring the Wiedemeyer and Miss Hattie's. That's really cool of him to do that. Will, and I appreciate that, Will. Wanted to talk a little bit about the events that we have coming up. We got Fear will be helping Chip Coffey with his Coffee Talk Tour in Little Rock, Arkansas, April 5th. We do have tickets for all of Chip Coffey's events, all his Coffee Talk engagements on our Fear website. It's Fear Paranormal at wix.com/fear-1. And you just go to the events tab and it's got it on there and it'll take you right straight to get any tickets for that. Also, we have HHL, which is History, Haunts, and Legends, April 12th, that Kim and Eric will also be at, and that's in Jefferson, Texas. That'll be my first speaking engagement, actually, in public like that, so why don't you come out and support. And then I have Tyler Paracon, April 26th. That should be a whole lot of fun. The guys from, a couple of the guys from Deep South Paranormal, Randy and Kevin, will be there, and I will be also speaking there too. And then we got Granbury Paranormal Expo, which is May 17th in Granbury, Texas. Brandy Hurd is in charge of that, so check that out and get your tickets for all those events now. I want to thank my sponsors, Syntex Roof Systems. My brother Tony down there in Waco area, he will do you right. I'm going to tell you, he can do anything, not only roofs, but he'll do remodeling buildings, you name it. They'll build it for you. Flanagan's Party Barn in Waxahachie. Wes and Wendy will hook you up. Whatever you need down there, receptions, weddings, whatever, they'll hook it up. Able Towing. And I have a new sponsor, which is Danny Bigbeard, the creator and mastermind behind the Echo Box. I've been trying it out. I tried it out last night, and I got a couple of things that I need to review, but it was a pretty cool app. So you need to get that app. Look Fear up on our website like I gave you. It's fearparanormal at wix.com/fear-1. Go to our Facebook page and give us a like. You can go to Close to Death Facebook page. And that's about it. Next week, we had to reschedule Debbie and Mark Constantino, and they will be on next week, so you have to be here for that. And I want to thank Will for being such a great guest. Stay tuned for Christiana's Cafe. And I'll see you next week. Peace out.